If you've watched one of our previous videos, spot and stalk bow hunting for deer, then you're aware that spot and stalk bow hunting, especially primitive bow hunting, is not a terribly efficient method. However, it is a lot of fun and it's very rewarding. But the more efficient way to hunt deer is typically more in an ambush setting. So this video is about bow hunting deer on the ground, but in more of that ambush style of hunting as opposed to spot and stalk. Of course, most modern hunters are far more familiar with hunting out of tree stands or in, say, pop-up ground blinds, and because I'm a primitive bow hunter, I don't really do any of that. I hunt in more natural style of ground blinds or just stuff that's kind of patched together and brushed in. And this video isn't just for primitive bow hunters. This can extend to even modern rifle hunters or compound hunters. If you want to hunt deer on the ground, these same techniques can easily be implemented to help you get a lot more success on just deer hunting on the ground without the use of any extra stuff to pack in. And although this method of hunting is typically more productive, I personally love to spot and stalk because I enjoy just getting out and moving around. And honestly, I kind of find ambush hunting to be typically very boring. But I figured it only fitting that we do a video on spot and stalk hunting and then also do one on ambush hunting and how I set up my spots specifically to get me really good close range opportunities on deer. Well, that didn't work out. Two deer just came across, and position I'm in, I didn't think they would see me too much. You guys missed it, and I'll tell you why, because the camera failed. Click the button, and it never turned on. And then I looked at it and go, oh well, I'd missed it anyway, so click the button again. Still didn't come on, so I had to pull the battery out and reset the camera. So now I'm kind of glad, I'm not kind of glad I missed, but I'm okay that I missed. I wish you guys would have been able to see it, but either way, they walked down from there. Right about back here, she could start getting an idea that maybe she could smell me. And she walked right there. And just as I was pulling back to shoot, she looked over and she could see me sitting up here, so I watched them walk from probably 100 yards down that way, and they were just flat spooky. Like really spooky. So that's kind of letting me know now that, I mean, nobody's really in here messing with them. These things just live with springs for legs. So she was cautious the whole way. There was two does, and the other one was like right down here. I was kind of hoping it would come. It would give me a much closer shot, but it had about a 20 yard, a little less than 20, probably 18, just to that other bank that comes up. But, yep, just as I was drawing, she could see my movement, and she was already wired, but what are you going to do, not shoot? Okay, we'll be over here on just this side, wherever, like how she came. Do you want me to come that way? Yeah, same thing. This was a spot that we actually didn't get the footage of the deer. There was a fault with the camera and it never turned on and recorded. But that deer was sitting over here, and so that footage of me missing that one, you can see that all the brush that's around here is really close to me. And so I was crouched down sitting in here, staying down behind, and Jason's over there being the deer. And they came over this side, and you can see there's plenty of brush here, so they couldn't really see me because I just kept hiding. And then as the deer walked, as Jason's gonna do, I was really hoping that they wouldn't be paying attention to what I was doing, and that I would be able to get that shot on that doe that was actually standing over there probably about 18 yards. And I was really hoping she'd just be looking the other direction, and that didn't really work out. So you can see then from the opposite angle where Jason's carrying the camera that wide open, no obstructions, except it's all very, very tight right around me. And that therefore I was highlighted really, really easily with my drawing motion, and she was gone before the arrow was even released. So this one we're hunting this same washed out road where I was sitting on the other side, and that deer came through and I wasn't brushed in except for around those two palmettos, and she picked me out. So in this scenario with the wind blowing on this way, this is a much better scenario. So I'm blocked in the front, and this is a pretty thick patch of gallberries, and then there's another thick patch right there, and you can see Jason over there. And remember, yep, deer head wise, it's going to be right there. So as I see a deer coming down, as soon as I get behind that little bit of palmettos, I'm just going to duck down so this way it can't see me. And as soon as it gets behind these front patch of gallberries, then now it's blocked. And you can see I also took some palm fronds and stuck down to help block out the deer's view. So as the deer starts to walk in this way, now what you'll notice is my shooting lane isn't straight through. My shooting lane is back behind, and that's because as Jason walks down in front of this weed line, you'll see that he's actually past my position. So if this was a deer, the deer would now be looking away rather than turning all the way around to look back in here. Now, of course, there's scenarios in which the deer could just happen to look in here, but right now is where the deer would be looking, and it's still hidden. And now the deer is starting to face away, you can see, and this would give us a quartering away shot right into the deer. Right through there would be just about perfect. So that's the shot. And now the deer is starting to face away, you can see, and this would give us a quartering away shot right into the deer. Right through there would be just about perfect. So we're looking at how I set up kind of a blind now. I don't necessarily build a blind to sit in, and I've talked about this before, that if you build like a whole really tight blind right around you, it's a super tight spot, and deer just look right into it. It's like their eyes are just drawn to this really dark spot that they can't see into, and they just start staring at it. And so I used to talk before about hunting in plain sight, basically just open ground, and then using natural cover in front of you to block the deer's vision. And this is a situation where I have a pine tree back here that I kind of lean up against, and all of this brush that you see that's dead, that stuff I've already put up, but there's actually some live stuff, because every time I come, I cut a couple more of these gallberries and I stick it in. So I start making this wall, and same thing over here and over here, and then I have a shooting lane right down the center. And we'll look at it from the inside. So here I am basically inside the blind now, and that's my shooting lane right there. And as I'm standing, my body is still obstructed by this whole cluster of pine trees. And so if the deer comes from this side, I've got some gallberries set up, and they're, you know, a few yards away from me, but the trail is about 10 or 15 yards. And then you can see the dead brush here. The trick is to have the brush closer to the deer than it is to you. So because the way the sunlight may reflect off some of the leaves, you can tell that it's a lot more difficult to see through brush when you're 5 to 10 feet from it, as opposed to if all the brush and the hunter and everything is all clustered together in one spot. So I'm setting up all of these blind spots to where I can watch, I'll be able to see the deer
There's a lot of brush, but I will definitely be able to see its head. And then as it gets into here, I can see it through these little spots, but it really can't see me. And if it's coming this way, as soon as its head comes through this, I'm still not moving through that shooting lane. I want its head to get behind that brush. And then it's almost one motion. Now I can draw, so I'll be in the up position, but kind of leaning back. When the deer's head gets behind it, then I could just lean forward and take the shot right into the body with its head still obstructed. And then when they're coming from this side, it's kind of the same thing. We got a lot of gallberries in here, some new, some old, and it's going to be the same game. As soon as their head comes through, I don't move and hope that they don't look right down this lane and see me. Hopefully they're still looking ahead, and as soon as their head gets behind all the pines, now I got a clean shot right into the vitals. So Jason Smith is hunting with me today. He's going to walk down and play the deer. Of course, he's going to be taller than a deer, so be looking more like his waistline as far as, you know, head and vitals of a deer. And so you can see how you can see his head come above this, but the deer is completely blocked, but we can still see him. So in this scenario, you can see, boom, right there's the shot. And so a lot of times deer walk by that fast. You just have to be ready and mostly gauging it. As soon as you know its head's covered, you take the shot.
Come from the other side.
Yep, go down a little bit further. This way we can see how far you are off the trail. And luckily he's wearing an orange hat, so we can see it. That's good.
Let me come back the other way.
Yep. You can see how tight this is in here. He would never be able to see me as a deer. It's just far too tight, especially if you're looking around his waistline. And then same thing. Okay, now I've got the bow up. He wouldn't be able to see me for the pines. Right there's the shot.
So this is another really great setup where we're hunting the deer coming from the left, coming out of the bedding area and moving right into a feeding area. And so if we look over to the left, it's very thick and I can't shoot through there, but I can definitely see deer coming, but they're going to struggle to see me. And then as they walk broadside, remember everything is still covered up, but they continue to walk, and so now they're actually away from me. They're walking past me and they're giving me a quartering away shot on that trail, and you can see that little sandy trail right there that they typically walk down. It's a great opportunity right here. All right, well, hopefully you have a better understanding on at least how we set up the spots, which I'd like to at least make another point of that. Remember that when the deer comes by, you don't want to be in a position where when it's coming to you down the trail, it can't see you. So you need to have all that stuff blocked off. And then when it's completely broadside to you, there's still a very good chance with their eyes on the side of their head that they're going to see you. So make that point that your shooting lane is when they get actually past your broadside and it's quartering away. So that's again why it's going to be very important to have the wind coming probably from this direction or this direction, coming either from the direction the deer are coming from or from where the deer is going to be when you're ready to shoot. So it's going to actually come completely past your position. You're going to watch it walk in, and this is hard for a lot of people to do, but you need to be able to watch that deer walk in and be completely covered up. That's why it doesn't hurt to have a whole bunch of brush in front of you, because you can't shoot in that quartering to position anyway unless you're shooting modern hunting implements. So wait until it gets not even past you just to broadside, but past you to where now it's a quartering away shot, that its focus is now in front of you, because it's already scanned all of the woods in front of it looking for danger, and by the time it gets past you, its focus is typically a little bit more in front, and then that's going to open up that opportunity to take that quartering away shot, which is a really nice shot angle to take on a deer that is looking in another direction. So let's take what we've learned and put it into the practical application and go out and actually do the hunt now. Now keep also in mind that there's not a lot of lead up that goes into these hunts because all your time is spent just sitting and sitting and sitting and sitting and sitting. So there's not really a lot to watch and look at. It's all of a sudden the deer's coming, it's here, and you get the shot.
Boy, I got that one. Holy smokes, I got that one. Is down right there. Done deal. Holy crap. Holy crap, I got that one. It's a perfect double lung. I wish y'all could have seen it coming from right through there. Sit down a minute. Guys, anytime you get a primitive kill, it's very special, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I kill more hogs than deer, and I think you guys know that. But I've killed somewhere in the 20s of deer, and I've got about probably close 30 hogs. But I've been deer hunting longer than hog hunting, and I'll tell you what. When you hunt deer and you shoot a deer with a stick bow, a sinew string, and a stone point, it is a magical experience. It is something you cannot put in to words, and I quite literally just jammed a double lung on that doe walking through. She's just walking by, and I just jammed a double lung on her with an obsidian point, and I saw that thing angling slightly forward and bury 5 inches maybe to the fletching. And being able to bring you guys along on the journey is an incredible experience, because running a camera and filming is so tough, and when you do it for yourself, it's really special. But when you can bring other people along on that journey and show them, it's not about what I can do, but it's like, if I can do it, you can do it too. And I'm telling you right there, that was a magical experience. Probably 12-yard shot, slightly quartering away, and just drove that stone point. I'm gonna give it a minute and then mosquitoes. In fact, what I might do is I might just kind of hang out here for a few minutes and just hope maybe a buck comes by or something, and let that kind of, I mean, it's already, I heard it go down, so it's just laying over there. But I'll give it a few minutes anyway. What an incredible experience to shoot deer. Love hunting hogs, but to shoot deer especially, they got springs for legs, and when you start doing the stuff like the sinew bowstrings and cane arrows and stone points, it changes the game completely. And I really hope that you guys at home get to experience the same thing. It's incredible. I'm just gonna follow the trail, and I mean, here's her tracks running, but there's blood pretty much everywhere. So I heard her crash into palmetto, so I think she ran up around this palmetto head, and she either fell into here or she went into there. Either way, I heard a lot of crashing. So again, no shortage of blood anywhere, and it's not big pools because it's actually like splattered around, and that's what happens when you shoot them in the lungs, especially. They tend to kind of blow it out both sides. There, if that's not a great representation, I'm hoping y'all can see that. You see that? There's blood spraying everywhere. You see all those drops? That's perfect, and you can see her tracks right there. That's exactly what you want to see right there. That is a beautiful shot, and that puts a deer down. That puts a deer down really quickly, like 10 seconds or less. Like I said, I heard her go down, so I mean, this blood trail, Stevie Wonder could follow that one, man. This thing is, he could follow that by feel, just by feeling where the ground's wet, man. That's crazy. There's blood everywhere. Plenty of, even in the water, there's plenty of blood. You can just see it. everywhere. You can see where she went in right there on the palmettos. Check that out. So whoever says that stone points don't do a good job, man, you put them where they're supposed to be, and they do every bit as good as steel, every bit as good. So yeah, pretty much now it's one of those situations where you just walk in to here in the palmettos. In fact, I can see more blood up there. I said there is so much blood everywhere in here. Everywhere. Look at all that. Oh my gosh, it's painting right there. Blood all over that. Guys, do you see that? Do you see how much there is? Crazy, 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 crazy. It's all through here. Holy smokes. Look up here. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's rolling out the red carpet for us right there. Holy cow. That is unbelievable. Holy smokes. That is a tremendous amount of blood. I can see blood all the way up to there. She actually made it a lot further than I thought. But look at it all. I mean, check that out. I know we're getting close now. We have to be. But I'll tell you what, this is the most alive, the most human you'll ever feel. And if you don't think that that hunting with sticks and rocks is human, well, you couldn't be more wrong. I know that people are like, oh no, humans nowadays don't need to do that kind of stuff. Let me tell you, this is the most human you will ever feel in your life, to be able to accomplish this on wild game. And we're still following the blood trail, but it's so incredible. I know that deer is just laying here. It's got to be about any second, because we've already actually traveled further than I thought we would. But the blood is just, I mean, my goodness. I wish y'all could really see in person what it looks like, because the camera just doesn't do it justice. So, I mean, there's no such thing as walking slow in here. It's just follow the trail right through. I mean, you can see the blood almost 10 yards ahead. Phew, holy smokes. She's gonna be here any second. Come on, where are you? Okay, she obviously went up through here. I thought I heard her go down, but I didn't. I probably just heard her crashing through the palmettos. That's crazy though. I'm surprised she made it this far. I must have only maybe got one lung. I don't know. Because of 2 lungs, she's probably about 100 yards. So that's probably too far for 2 lungs. But my goodness. I mean, this blood trail is insane. Look at that. I'm going to go just a tiny bit further, and if she's not down, she's got to be down. And if she's not down, I'm going to turn around and head out, and I'm just going to give her a little bit of time. But the amount of blood that's here, there is no way that we're not going to find this deer. There's just no way. I don't think I've ever in my life shot a deer with a stone projectile that bled as much. Nope, but she's right there. Okay. I've never shot a deer in my life that bled as much as this one did, but that's it right there. There she is. Yep, quartering away. Definitely, actually I might have missed, yeah, I probably missed that first lung. I think I get such that quartering away. I obviously really got the second lung, but that's it. That's a done deal right there, guys. That is literally the best blood trail I've ever seen from a stone point. They're not always like hard to follow, but sometimes they don't leak as much. That was insane. And you can see it around her mouth too. So, I mean, that's about as ethical as it gets. And we were over there in that tree line, and I know it looks further on camera, but it's It's probably 100 yards to the tree line, and then we were another 50 maybe. So maybe 150, but that's probably a liver and one lung, but just devastating. All right, so yeah, it definitely angled forward. I didn't think I hit her that far back. That's surprising. That's sometimes you never know until you go back and look, you know. Definitely popped out. I don't know if the arrow pulled back through or if we lost the point. Oh yeah, absolutely we did. So, well, we got the arrow. Anyway, don't know where the point is. And in fact, I got plenty of daylight left. So what I'll do is I'll stick that one down in my quiver. And down at the bottom, save it. I always like to save kind of one, either the point or the fletching or something. I can probably just backtrack this trail and look a little bit closer. And, I mean, shoot, it might just be right here where she fell down too. So we'll have a good look about it. But, yeah, so that was the entry shot. So it looks kind of far back, but boy, it angled forward really, really good. And, angled forward good, flip her over, and you can see right there, look at that, that's the exit wound on her. So I mean, you know, without a doubt, that's a devastating shot right there on a whitetail. So yeah, knocked her out. So all right guys, thanks for following along on this one. I'm sure I'm not done talking on the video yet, but just in the heat of the moment here from the hunt, appreciate you guys following along with these hunts that I do. I really like to share them with y'all. And I got about a 100-yard drag through the palmettos. I'll get her out there to where I can deal with her a little bit better. And then I'm gonna walk this blood trail back and see if I can't find the other end of my arrow that's got the stone point on it. Y'all know I like to keep that, but I got the other piece if I absolutely have to. But, you know, I got that display case of stone points to shoot that I've shot animals with. So that's just important stuff to me. So I'm going to go back and look for it. We got plenty of daylight left. Oh, yeah, this is pretty much what it looks like when you got to do. I'm out here in the palmettos. I really don't want to have to blood trail her to get her back. And it's one of those deals where all this stuff looks the same. So if I lay my bow down or leave the deer, I would just have to follow the blood trail, which isn't hard anyway, and I might just do that. But I also look at it going, man, if I just go 100 yards and go that way, I'll hit an opening. But it is so hard carrying the camera, quiver, bow, and deer. So I don't know. I guess maybe I should take my stuff back, then come right back in. I can do that. There's no reason not to. That's just silliness. It's just me being silly. I know exactly where to come. Whew. That's about the best testimonial a guy could ever get for the buck. The secrets and science of primitive archery. That right there will teach you everything that you really need to know about finding success with contextual primitive archery implements. Nice, she's not a super old doe, but she's a dry doe. Doesn't have any fawns with her at all whatsoever, which I'm pretty surprised with. And but made a really nice shot, angling, quartering away. Came in a little back on the one side, but you can see where we came out on the other side. Really, really nice shot. Shot it with a stone point, obviously, and that's what we call my bison bow, but shoot, I've killed deer and hogs as many as bison with it, but it's just the bow that I use to shoot the bison. Went, probably must have just got one lung and liver, but the shot was devastating nonetheless. Great blood trail, went about 150, and I've never had one go that far with a double long shot, so I think we did. I think we missed that one lung, which is fine, but really put her down super, super quick overall. And shooting, you know, genuine sinew, bowstring, cane arrows, stone points, Osage bow, whole 9 yards. It's
Honestly, it just doesn't get any better than that.